Hey, so this is a TVZ. I don't know anything about it yet. But what we're going for is 17 marine attack around 6 minutes with, I would say 24 workers at 6 minutes and like 48 at 10. You need one more depot. Oh wait, no, I was looking at his supply. This is good. You don't need one more depot. So that's great actually. You probably want to cancel one of those marines so that you can make a depot now. Because you don't want to cut this SCV and you're gonna, unless you cancel a marine. But you made enough marines. You just didn't seem to push across the field with them. I guess you wanted to clear the watchtower first, even though you're not going to go past that watchtower on your trek. It looks like maybe you did cancel. You probably canceled 2 marines in order to be able to make SCV, so that's good. Come on, let's do it. Why is the game going so slow, man? Nice. So you're gonna kill tons of stuff here. This is great. Nice, nice. Yeah, kill everything. Okay, so that went great. That went very well, very well. It seems pretty clear from the amount of money you have in the bank that there were some macro problems behind it, but that's pretty typical for you. 10 minutes, we got 39 workers. You know, it should be 48, so you're like 9 workers short, and that's a big deal, but 39 is better than I expected. So, you know. And tech-wise, you've started 1-1, you've started a factory. So I'd say you're pretty reasonably far behind on tech. Just started stim now. So the goal is 15 minutes, 7k spent on an army, 1-1 stim combat shields finished with like 8 medevacs and 14 marines at a time worth of production and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking that you missed that by miles, but we'll see. Alright. So, yeah. So you've got all the upgrades almost done. You've got 5 medevacs. And do you have 14 marines at a time worth of production? Looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yeah, I think actually you did everything right. I think you're in it. You're in it to win it, man. This is great. Good times. Well done. A little bit too many here and not enough here. Do you have this turned on where it tells you how many workers are in each place? This is good though. So you're hitting him with 173 supply worth of marines while distracting him over here to try to make sure that his army can't intercept you as it crosses the field, giving you the excuse to not spread your dudes out very well. Remember, spreading is meant to be a counter to AoE. If he attacks you with pure Ling, don't spread. Just clump up and kick butt, man. So you just easily crush him here. He tries to do a counterattack. Again, did you see that? You're fighting and nothing's being built back home. Excuse me. And you got tons of money. You've got enough money to queue up like 10 marines at each place too. So right now these are only at half production and then they're completely empty. So easily defend your base and kill him at his base. Your money piles up massively. But the game is over and there's nothing you can do about it at this point. And yeah, so you just kind of win. He's got 15 supply. So you did really well. I don't know what else to say about that. You did a really good job. You had the same problem in all 3 of these games so far where as you fight you're not queuing up marines, but you know, you won the game and you hit all the benchmarks and you did everything right. So good enough. Are you top diamond, sir? Are you sir top diamond, sir? It's the TVP. So Nick is saying if you get a 13 gas instead of the 14 gas, and then you rally this guy to be your second guy on gas, and then you rally the guy that you just finished to be your third guy on gas, then you'll get exactly enough gas to make the reactor core in time. But you actually did it just right anyway. You have exactly enough for the reactor core right now. And orbital, it's a good times. So this is all timed out beautifully. You should be crossing the field already. And I don't know about pulling 4 workers. I don't think I'd ever pull 4 workers, no matter what you see from him. Because 2 workers is going to do exactly as well as 4 workers. So there's just no need to pull 4. But it does look like you're going to kick a lot of butt here. He's on 1 gate. He's supply blocked himself. He's going robo instead of additional gates. So until that immortal comes out, he's got nothing to hold you off with. He's going to pull some workers. You always want to stutter step away from a worker pull, because probes actually do quite well against Marine Marauder. So you kill enough there, though, that he's got no chance. So what you wanted to do in that scenario, and I mean what you did was okay, but what you wanted to do was to create a choke with the bunkers, right? The point of these bunkers isn't actually to get up. You're never going to be able to get bunkers up, no matter what build he's doing. He's just not going to let you finish the bunkers. He might, but you can't count on it. So what you actually want the bunkers to be doing is forming a choke so that zealots and probes become useless. So if you put 1 bunker here and 1 bunker here, and you leave 1 space in between the bunkers, then his probes by default are going to walk through that little tiny space. And if you jam that space with a Marauder, then only 1 probe at a time gets to hit a Marauder who has 1 natural armor. So it completely negates probes altogether. And if you can't do that, like if you're stuck building the bunkers out here somewhere, then still you put 1 here and 1 above it, and you leave 1 space in between, and you try to get him to walk in between them. So like putting 1 up against the Nexus and 1 up here or whatever. You always want to build your bunkers in such a way that there's 1 space in between them where people can walk. And then you put your army on the other side of them. Shouldn't have pulled 4 workers. This would have been a much bigger victory if you'd only pulled 2 workers, because it would have died anyway, either way, and you would have done exactly the same amount of damage, but you would have had more stuff back home. And if you don't pull workers at all, and you're fighting a probe pull, so you can't use the bunkers as the wall-in against the probes, the other thing you need to do against probes, like if you can't form a choke for them to have to walk through, is just start retreating immediately when he pulls probes. So you see the probes coming right now. Let's switch to your vision. So you see the probes coming right now. You immediately walk backwards and start stutter stepping in this direction, right? And what that does is, because probes are melee, it's just added damage, man. You should always stutter step away from melee if you're ranged. And yes, probes are faster than you, but if you're retreating and they're attack moving, they'll never surround any of your units if you're stutter stepping backwards. Just because when they attack, they stand still for a second, so it's fine. So that should have gone a lot better than it did, but it already went so well that I don't think you can lose from here. It looks like you stopped making workers during that debacle, so that's not good. You're making stim, getting a starport, getting this stuff. I think you're going to be able to spend your money pretty easily. Making some tanks and medevacs and going across the field. So it's 10 minutes now. We can check. You lost 4, so this is 31. So yeah, you missed 6 workers during this, and you spent 31.5. So yeah, you did great on the army. You got the tech units you wanted in the time you wanted them, but you're just short 6 workers. So when you pull, you can't pull enough workers to get it done. I don't think he's got anything. I don't even think he was making units in the meantime, so you just totally win. But yeah, this could have been a little bit better, but it was obviously good enough to win, so good job. Wait, there's 6 more minutes in this game. That's kind of weird. So what you want to do against this is 4 Stalkers and a Colossus. Four Stalkers and a Colossus is nowhere near enough to actually kill the army that you have. Your army is just vastly bigger than his. And he puts all his probes in front of the ramp, and the only reason he gets any kills here is because the Colossus against the ramp, right? That's actually only hitting 1 Marauder, 2 Marauders. That's not hitting very many dudes. So now all of his probes are dead. And you just kind of win. So what you want to do here is, you don't have an air unit, so you did the right thing walking away. You got to wait for an air unit again. But when you have an air unit, you can totally just, siege up just out of range of the stalkers, so like right here, and put your army down at the bottom, and then start carpet bombing your guys across the top, right? Because 8 Marines can actually win a fight, or not so much win a fight, but come out cost effective against four stalkers and a Colossus, especially if 8 more Marines are coming after that and they're supported by a siege tank on the low ground. So you didn't have to go all the way home. I'm not like, maybe he was attacking you or something, but I would never have gone all the way home there. And there's almost nothing you can do to lose from here, so yeah. I've never seen someone with so much still. You lost at TVP, man. You shouldn't be doing that. Losing TVPs. This is Creator Prime, not.
Upgrade.
I almost never try to kill that first probe, because it delays when you're actually going to get across the field, so that you don't get the scouting information you want. Like this Marine would have gotten here quicker if he hadn't been shooting at the probe. So Marines and Zealots actually walk at the same speed as each other. So if you're going up against one Zealot, it's a lot easier to get in. Anyway, no information gained. Also, you want to wall in with your first racks. There's no reason to build it so far away from the wall in. And even if you don't wall in, you want to build it up here somewhere, because that just puts it closer. Like, getting that first Marine over before his second Zealot comes out is very helpful. You cross the field, you see that he has a dude on the watchtower, and yet you don't attack it. Come on, 6 minutes. At 6 minutes, you're short at least half a worker. No, almost a full worker. And 2 Marines. But it's not the end of the world. No, now you were just short about 8 seconds, so that's good enough. Here we go. We get to his base, and we want to check. We're just counting the units, right? You see an Immortal, immediately go home, so you made the right call here for sure. Just get out of there. You saw an Immortal. Now, versus an Immortal, I would probably make a bunker. Because it's unlikely that he's going to attack you. He's probably just going to expand in mass Immortals. But he can theoretically get a lot done with a couple sentries and an Immortal down here. He can at least knock down this entire wall in if you don't have a bunker. And there's no downside to building a bunker too, because when you put the reactor core on this second racks, you're going to have more Marine production than you can possibly use. So spending some money now and then salvaging it, you'll be able to spend the salvaged money in the future with this second reactor. So there's no downside to making the reactor, to making a bunker. You might as well bunker any time that he's on one base at this point. So my guess is that he's probably expanded by now. I can actually see the Nexus in the production menu, so I'm right. But you always got to consider what if he's doing a one base Colossus or a one base Immortal push and hasn't expanded. So build that bunker. Why not? No downside. Alright, let's see how we're doing at 10 minutes. Looks like your gas is a little bit weird this game.
Research complete.
Alright, 37 workers is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Great job. And you've got 3,500, I think, with siege mode and combat shield. So yeah, this was great. You made enough workers and you got enough army.
Add-on
and this is just really good. This map, I actually thumbs down this map specifically because of TVP. If he delays you coming up this choke and then delays you at this choke and then delays you at this choke, it's just, you're never going to make it before that second Colossus pops. You want your push to be arriving before the first Colossus is out. You want to arrive at his base at 10 minutes. And you pushed too late for that. Also, you never denied this scouting. You never denied the observer, so he knew when you're coming. He just holds you at this ramp. And now you're sieging up that. Never siege your tank anywhere unless he's already like committed to the fight and units have already died and you're like really forced to. But in general, unless you're within range of his nexus, you can win a fight without sieging. You just want to keep pushing him back and pushing him back. So never, like, you knew this was going to get force fielded off. You didn't want to do what you did. And once you're already in this position, you gotta pick up with the medevac and back up. That's why I hate this map for TVP. That the ramp is so far away from the nexus that you're kind of forced to like put all your effort into getting up this ramp, and then once you're up this ramp, that's not even a win, you know? So this tank got stuck. That's a really big deal. I'm still, I mean, I know that you lose this game because of how you labeled the replay. I'm still feeling okay about your chances of winning a fight here if you had both tanks and if you know, had this army size and they weren't all clumped up like that. Like, he's out of force fields. You get a siege tank over here and he's forced to go to the high ground. That kind of stuff. The big problem is that you're fighting without SCVs. You should never fight without SCVs in TVP. It's just not winnable. That's why we're, you know, doing this build in the first place, and that's why I told you never cut workers. Right, during the first fight, you're still constantly making workers, and you don't need all of these guys back home to mine. This is 22 guys. You don't need 23 guys on minerals. So you can take a bunch of these workers, send them back across the field, and help you get stuff done. But I think the real reason you lost this game was just the siege tank getting stuck behind, and you showed up a little bit late. You want to be showing up at 10 minutes. You showed up at 11. You got stuck on this ramp. This map is really bad for this push, and you know, just could have gone better. But the big problem is that he got that second Colossus F before you had the fight, and you got cut in half by sentries and stuff. I don't think you would have gotten cut in half by sentries if you'd had that siege tank as part of the push. And that's not going to happen again because it's, you know, it's easy not to do that.